Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Pastor David along with Pastor Marquise. We're over here holding down the fort. Pastor John, he is in a conference, pastor's conference or
Yeah,
whatever,
pastor retreat.
that I guess we were not good enough to go to, man.
Yeah,
What's
it's
up with
all good.
that?
I don't know, man.
It's all good. So we're here and we're going to be sharing with you for Life Group this week. And what is this edition? What are we calling the minority group edition for?
Yeah, the minority pastor version of
Yeah.
the City Life Church Life Group video.
uh, I'm the Spanish pastor here, and Marquise.
Black. Black and Puerto Rican, man. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're just gonna flow, man. We're just gonna do this and have a good time. What is the topic of this week? What are we talking about? It's kind of
Yeah, man. Last Minute Ministries. We were talking, discussing this over the last hour or so. I think we'll be dealing with accountability and wisdom, and hopefully it'll be helpful, man. Hopefully we get some good points that people leave out the group encouraged and fulfilled.
yeah, sounds good. So Pastor Marquise is gonna be covering the topic of wisdom. So why don't you just give us a couple of thoughts on what is wisdom and how do I get wisdom?
Yeah. So, doing some research, Google.com, shameless plug right there.
Wikipedia.
um, and just basic definition, wisdom is the ability to discern or judge what is true, right, or lasting. Um, and we were chopping it up a little earlier about like what's the difference of wisdom and knowledge. Knowledge is information gained through experience, reasoning, or acquaintance. And so, um, I was thinking about how there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of knowledge out there. You could go on Facebook, whatever, Wikipedia, and you could attain a bunch of information, but it doesn't mean that you have wisdom. And so we're gonna deal with the difference of and the importance of wisdom. And so to your question of as what how do you get it? I was thinking of verse James chapter 1 verse 5. If anyone of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Yeah, man. Simply put, you just go to the Lord, man, and sometimes we overcomplicate things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, especially the basics, the simple stuff. Sometimes we want to get so deep that we forget the basics and how simple it really is to get wisdom. And really, and the scripture tells us, it's just go to the Lord, ask God, and He gives to all. And Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to really mess that up. You know what I mean? Just simply asking. And I think another verse, uh, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And when you think about that fear, what is fear? Sometimes it's are you scared? Are you scared of God? And that text doesn't really mean that, but it's really like a reverence of God. When you have an awareness of God, that's really the beginning of wisdom. When you understand that God is everywhere and He's involved in our lives, and you begin to respect Him and honor Him, that really is the beginning and the foundations of wisdom. When you really put God in the place He's supposed to be, not the backstreet driver, not just the man upstairs, but as God, as the Lord of everything, as the Creator of the universe.
Right.
That we really gain a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, that's so good. It's so interesting, like what you said, that we live in the age of information.
Right.
Sometimes it's so accessible, so easy.
Right.
Everybody has an opinion. Everywhere you look, people are just like, just. It's so easy, man. And how can we know what's right from wrong? How can we attain the heart of God and just like seeing like, okay, how can I apply the truths and the facts? Obviously, looking at the Bible, and I love what you say that it starts with God.
Yeah.
Right, it starts with God. So that's great. What about? I know you had the part about getting wisdom from other people. How does that apply in someone's life?
Yeah, another plug, man. Shout out to the life groups all over the Bay Area, man. From the East Bay to the Peninsula, and even just talking to Beto a little earlier, just how dope it is to get to be in the groups and how much wisdom is in the group. And I've been sharing how our group has been going and how it's really cool that just seeing iron sharpen iron and people talking to each other and giving each other advice and praying for each other is dope. And a verse that another verse that we talking about Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 20, says, walk with the wise and you become wise. Associate with fools and you get in trouble. Man, that's my story right there. You know what I mean? Before I got saved, running the streets in a lot of trouble. And I look at the circle I surrounded myself with. I was with a lot of folks that were just doing the same thing, getting in trouble and not making wise decisions. Don't want to get into any details. And as I got older and more mature and I began to just give my life to the Lord, I began to get wisdom and be around people that made better decisions.
Right.
That it was a good idea to go to church on Sunday, you know what I mean, and Bible study, whatever the case may be. And just having like mentors in my life that were maybe smarter than me, that experienced more of life. There's an OG saying that old mothers would say is, baby, you haven't lived long enough. And that whole idea is that when you just, in years of living, you experience life. And in life, experience in life, it comes a lot of wisdom in just the good and the bad.
Right.
And so it's very important to just have people that are wise, people that, and trying to stay away from folks that are not making wise decisions, that that could get you in trouble and get you in situations that are not good. And when I think about wisdom, it's really just talking about decision making, just making sound, good decisions. And so on that point, when to transition, to this other topic we're talking about, accountability, and is there wisdom in accountability?
Off top.
Off top. And so holla at us, man. Holla at your boy, man.
Yes.
What accountability, man? What is accountability and how do you get it?
Yeah, so a definition of accountability is just being liable and being answerable, basically being open to another person. And when I think about accountability and what it means, I feel like just the word accountability can freak a lot of people out. Like, what does that really mean, and how does it look like? I think the world and the kingdom of God, they're completely different when it comes to accountability. When I think about the world, I feel like the world has no accountability. It's pretty much you do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel happy, whatever feels good, you just do it.
Right.
And then if there is some kind of accountability, it comes off as judgment. It feels like, man, get out of my business. What are you trying to do? This is my life. Don't tell me how to live my life. I do what I do. And just get out of here, you know what I mean? Or a lot of times, accountability in the world, it has to do with your performance, how you're doing. So, if you say, in our workplace, accountability, when they come to my sector, and they ask me how I'm doing, they just want results.
Right.
They just want to see that I'm doing well, that I'm meeting the goals, and that's it. If I'm doing good, great. Maybe, I'll keep doing my job, or I'll get a raise or get a better position. But if I'm not, then it's game over.
Right.
You know what I mean? It almost brings fear into people. And when I think about the kingdom of God and what it really means to be accountable, it really boils down to just helping each other succeed in our Christian walk, in being followers of Christ, and helping each other grow. The verse that comes to mind.
Hold on, before you get into the verse, the verse is good. It's a real good verse. But you were giving some good examples earlier when we were chopping it up about what accountability was for you. Can you give the folks some good examples of how you were accountable to people in different areas of your life? Yeah.
So accountability for me in different areas. So accountability for me, I like to be accountable to people that are just maybe a few steps ahead of me, because like what you said earlier, they lived life longer than I have, so they can bring something to the table that I have no idea about. So for example, when I was in college, and I met this like really cute girl. She is a redhead, and she's just beautiful, can sing. Her name is was Erin Walters, and now it's Erin Wilkins.
Go ahead.
Hello. I went to my youth pastor, and I was like, yo, I'm starting to have some feelings towards this girl, and this is how I'm feeling. What do you think? I went to get some wisdom, because he had been her youth pastor. He knew who she was, just to see, like, does he think that was a good idea? And was I ready for it? How was my finances? You know what I mean? And how was the condition of my heart? And I just went to get some wisdom. So that was a big decision in my life. So I was accountable to him. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I want you to help me out through this process. And then there's different areas too. Now that I'm married, I'm accountable to my wife. Like whatever's going on in my heart, in my mind, in our finances, in different areas. Accountability, being open to somebody, being liable to somebody. Somebody that's gonna help me out and just help me succeed.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, the concept alone, I think, hopefully it helps a lot of people that when you think about accountability, it almost feels like you have like someone watching you, and
Right.
there's like almost like a fear that comes with it, or like get out of my business. You know what I mean? Especially in our culture where it's like we want privacy, and I want, like you said a little earlier, I wanted to do whatever I want to do. You shouldn't be able to tell me what to do or how to do it, and that's not the case, right? It's more about the accountability is more about helping and not judging or
tearing people down and
Yeah.
just like, oh no,
yeah.
you're wrong in this area or whatever. I think a lot of times we can allow fear to come into our hearts where we don't want to be accountable with everything. Sometimes it's easy to just choose certain areas that I'll be open with
Right.
God and other people,
Right.
my spiritual leaders, or even my family members and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We like to hide things, but that just comes from a place of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that verse you brought to my back? I just tried to cut you off for a second, but that's a good word right there, man.
Yeah,
Share that with the
it's all
folks.
good. So it's Ecclesiastes. Did I say that right? Ecclesiastes?
You good.
All right. If I didn't, just Google Translate it, okay? Chapter 4, verse 9, it says this: two people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Yeah, this verse is so deep because it talks about how it's better to do life together. We were meant, when God created us, he created a community. He created people because we are meant to live life together, to hear other people out, and talking about this, doing life together and being accountable to one another, where we're just open about our struggles and things that we have to face. And I love the fact that it says that one falls.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Right? Because a lot of times in Christianity, we feel like there's no mistakes allowed. We have to live this perfect life. So when we do, we try to hide it instead of trying to bring it to life. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing, and just how much we make mistakes, and how the walk, if we're just keeping it real, keeping it 100, life comes with ups and downs. And when I think about accountability, again, it's not that fear or that judgment. When I having brothers like Hob and Gio, who when I was down and out, and I was just struggling with my faith and just making it another day, trying to keep my head up high, having accountability with brothers saying, Keish, you got this, man. Doing this for the Lord, and just encouragement, and again, that reminder that, like that text was talking about, that you're gonna fall down.
Yeah.
The just man falls 7 times but gets back up.
That's right.
And that accountability, it says like, when you fall down, someone to be able to pick you up. And the enemy loves to get us in isolation.
Right.
Real talk. You know what I mean? Try to get us, not talking to nobody and not associating or text message, whatever. And that's important, man. I think Christians don't talk about that enough, about the reality of the struggle of trying to live a life for the Lord, and the reality of what happens when you fall down. How do you deal with that? Who do you go to? We don't go to some person in a box to do confessions. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So that really stuck out to me too. Just that concept of having someone there for you when you fall.
Yeah, I think there's so much wisdom in that, of being accountable to somebody. It's not it's not this negative thing, but the Bible, the way it shows us, is everyone was accountable to somebody. Yeah. Jesus, when he was doing his ministry, he said, "I'm doing what I see the Father do," and then he passes it on to his disciples, and his disciples are accountable to him. But always the goal is to get closer to God. Yeah. Always the goal. I love those 2 words that is said in the passage, is to succeed and to get help.
Yeah.
We understand that Christianity is a journey, and we get setbacks, and there's times that we're disappointed, and when we have staff meetings, sometimes somebody's full of faith, the other person's like, man, like we only have like 10 people come to youth night.
Right.
Keys, pray for me. I'm
Right.
discouraged. And
Right.
you know, we encourage each other, man. We're
Right.
open. We're accountable, and basically we got each other's back at the end of the day because
Yeah.
we understand it takes a family
Yeah.
to walk with Christ.
That's good, man.
Yeah, so I definitely see the benefits of it.
Yeah, man, as we start wrapping this thing up, man, as PJJ would say, landing this plane. Yeah, just a couple points, folks, you know, that we want you to leave out of here, man. When it comes to wisdom, man, seek the Lord, man. Go to the Lord in prayer. Ask him. Just ask God. It's not deep. It's not deep theology. It's just having a heart to seek that wisdom. And watch who you hang out with. Who's in your circle? Who are you kicking it with? Who do you spend your time with? Where are you at on Friday night? Saturday night, whatever, you know what I mean? And then on the accountability point, what are the points you want to leave with?
Yeah, being accountable is about being open and helping each other succeed.
Yep.
And basically just helping each other, being
good.
accountable to somebody that it might be in the same season that you're in, or somebody that's a few steps
That's
ahead
good.
of you. It's a spiritual somebody that's spiritually over you, and that will help you out to be a better follower of Jesus.
That's so good, man. So hopefully in the groups, man, you guys could chop it up for a little bit about this idea of accountability and wisdom. Who are you accountable to? Who's in your circle? Who checks on you about the good, the bad, and the ugly? And wisdom, you know, where do you get your source of wisdom and information? Is it just social media, Facebook, Wikipedia, or some political news source? Are you going into the Word, and are you have a circle of folks that you connect with that you are getting that from? So, hope this was a blessing.
Yeah.
Minority edition of the Life Group videos. Hope we come back. Hope we don't get kicked out.
If we're not here next Sunday, you guys know that PJJ just cut us out.
We got fired.
I'm just kidding.
So pray for your pastor. He's out on a retreat, out with the Father's House retreat in Elena. And as you know, they had a big move recently. So let's all in our groups pray for our leaders. Great leaders they are, and just hope that they're blessed and encouraged and inspired and refreshed and renewed. And man, we just hope y'all have a good time breaking bread, chopping it up in your groups. And until the next time, maybe next month, maybe next week. I don't know, but this was good, man. Good kicking it with you, bro.
It's fun.
God bless.
Peace.